So, Mr. Suresh Kumar, I cannot tell you what a pleasure it is to have you on here today. You and I go way back. We've had a lot of history together. Connecting GTA is your baby, your life, your everything. So for everyone watching our Hustle and Heart podcast today, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
You are the president of Connecting GTA. Let's just dive right in and start talking about the club. But before we start talking about the club, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell people who you are, what you're doing, and let's talk about Connecting GTA.
Sure. Suresh Kumar, founder and CEO of Connecting GTA. I have done so many things. So I worked at CBC News in the IT department for a while, then moved on to Queen's Park, managed all the MPP websites when Mike Harris was the premier. Then after losing the election, I worked at... I started my own IT business for a while, sold that business, went and worked at the Scarborough Hospital for a while. Then I decided that, you know what, I want to start something on my own again. But this time it was more meaningful. That's when Connecting GTA started in year 2017. Connecting GTA is a private networking club, just like a chamber of commerce or board of trade. But the members are from the Greater Toronto area, starting from Cobourg to Niagara Falls to Barrie. And we are very selective on who can join the club. We don't want to create too many competitions in the club. And also, they have to have the mindset like the way I do. Like, when you join the club, we wanted to make sure that, while I'm growing the club, you can also come up the ladder with me. And that's the mentality. And you had that in you. You supported a lot of members. Then people like Angela Balcois and everyone supported you. So we supported each other to go up the ladder. In a nutshell, that's what Connecting GTA is all about.
Right. And that's one thing that I loved about the club and still love about the club. The people who join end up being family.
Yes.
There's a trust that's built. There is a respect that's built. You started Connecting GTA, how many years? 5 years ago? 7 years. Wow, time flies. And you were just maybe a handful of people then, 5 people maybe. And those 5 people are still with you today as you're growing the club. You have grown to about over 300 members. And that's a testament to what's working really well with the club. It's a chance to showcase yourself. If you are a business owner, you want to network. You want to be visible and
build
connecting. And build the relationships. And through the support of other members, you just go further faster.
Of course.
And that's one of the beautiful things about Connecting GTA as a club. And besides supporting your members, you guys do marketing, you do spotlights for your members. You do a lot for the community.
And I think that's the way, we can grow our businesses together. And if you remember, we did the Instagram Live. We will pick a member, we'll talk about what they do and all that. I don't know if you remember, we did a roofing company. He was on top of the roof showing us, metal roofing company, right? So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we do anything and everything to support the businesses out there. So that way they can survive. And the more we support them, the more longer they're going to stay with us as members, right? And that's the goal.
Exactly. I remember also during COVID times when everything was shut down and small businesses were just
struggling,
raked through the coals, struggling. Connecting GTA had the ministers on finance and other ministers as well. And they talked about how can we come together as a community. How can we support each other? And I think for a lot of the businesses in the club, they really appreciated that support, that
they
recognition.
Supported big time. Even if you remember, Angelo Pucci drove from Pickering to Scarborough to buy some burgers from Nazir, right? So they wanted to show that they could have bought the burger anywhere if they wanted, but to come out and support the fellow member. And I think that helped a lot of businesses at that time. Right?
And you have a very diverse range of businesses who join the club. Anything from restaurants, lawyers, insurance agents,
we had
roofers.
It's
amazing. And people find a home when they come there.
And also, like, because when you want to get something done, you get to go to that member and you know that you can trust that person because, you belong in that club. Like you said, it's a very intimate club where, people can trust each other, work together. And we are human beings. We make mistakes. When there was a misunderstanding, we were able to come together and say, you know what, this happened. How do we not, avoid those type of situations, right?
Like a real family.
There we go. Exactly. That's what we do, right? Yeah.
So let's go back, before, you worked at the Queen's Park, you worked as an IT specialist. You've had a long career before starting Connecting GTA. So who is Suresh Kumar in terms of, you're loving what you're doing right now. This is your passion. This is something that you want to do for the rest of your life, probably.
This is,
Who is Suresh and why did you choose this path?
I think when I worked at Queen's Park, having the political connections, I always supported the small businesses, even though I didn't have any, reasons to do that. Like when someone reach out and say, like, I'm struggling with this thing, whom should I talk to? I will point the finger. Right. Then when I started my IT company, I had about 2,000-3,000 business clients who did the website through me and all that. At the same time, having worked at Queen's Park, I did a lot of websites for all 3-level governments and parties. I mean, I built a good relationship with all the politicians as well. So when businesses, after I sold the business, business owners would come and say, like, you might call and say, Suresh, I want to expand my backyard. I want to build something. I need a permit done. Whom should I call? So I would, connect you with that person. And that was very helpful. And I didn't realize that a lot of business owners or residents did not know what to do at certain times, right? So this became like a point of contact. Right. So I love, like you said, I love doing this. I do this in sleep. So when I went to some of my startup members and said, listen, I want to do something like this. Would you pay to be a member? They're like, you're doing this already. Gulambek, Keith, they were just like jump on board and said, like, do it. Like, we will come on board and support you with that, right? So started out like that. And right now, like, we are making a huge difference for so many businesses.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing that the members love. And even me till today, if I'm looking for something and I don't know what to do, I call you right away and I'm like, Suresh, I'm looking for this. Who do you know? And you right away, you connect me with somebody in the club and they come out right away. The members end up respecting the club so much that they give 110% to make sure you're happy.
And they run into you at so many events, so they don't want to mess that up. And again, you also recommend them to other people. And, advertising is okay, but when someone recommends you, you are willing to pay a little bit more for that trust factor, right? That's the key, right?
Exactly. So as you've been doing this for a while now, you've come across many business owners of different types of businesses. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking of starting a business or who already has a business and wants to raise their visibility? What are some of the challenges that you have seen other businesses face? And what would you tell people how to overcome them?
I think what we are doing right now, marketing, getting your name out, and then building the relationships to make sure that, you think of it in a long term that you should never burn bridges. I know you had a number of things happening at home. You had to take some time off to look after your grandkids and then you took a leave. But our friendship never died. You always call me, even though you are not a member, you will always call and say, who can I call for this type of purpose? And then you will call that member to give that business. So that type of thing. And here we are today, working on a podcast, right? That shows that you never burn bridges. And I always tell people that we are human beings. We will always make mistakes, but how do we maintain the relationship so that way it goes far, right? And continue marketing, get your name out. When customers come, ask them to give testimony and all that. If someone didn't like their product or food or whatever, try to find a way rather than taking that in a negative way, because it should be positive outcome of that, right?
Now, I know you're connected with a lot of political figures in the community. And from time to time, you're able to support businesses above and beyond what they're getting anywhere. You've managed to get grants, sponsorships. How do you do that? Like, how do you, and is this something that is part of what you're doing, or you just kind of do it?
I just do it, but I got to be upfront that we are not a lobbying firm.
Okay.
So when we reach out to politicians, we just reach out to them in a way that, so again, you are a business owner in Pickering, and you have a issue with your business. You can make a lot of noise, but unless the right people hear that, you won't get any answers. So my job is to make sure that who would be the right person to reach out to get some attention, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And when they do that, then they come out and support you.
Right.
Grant-wise, there are a lot of government grants available, but again, a lot of business owners don't know that it's available. A lot of the business owners don't know that BDC is there, who can give a lot of funding, but that's one reason we do a lot of seminars and workshops to educate them on don't take your savings and throw it in the business. Apply for loans, because if you're doing well, you can get BDC loans.
Right.
Use that money so you can go up the ladder. So you're not touching the money that you save for your rainy days.
Right. There's one thing about you, Suresh. You're very quiet. You're behind the scenes. I'm actually surprised that you're sitting here in front of me today to do this interview, and I really appreciate that. How did you accumulate your business savvy? Like, you know a lot about a lot, and with that knowledge, you help your people.
It's when you work with other business owners, you learn the goods and bads, and then obviously I learned it from my business what mistakes to make, not to make, and then what are some of the successful stories, right? And again, I hate being in front of camera. I'll become nervous about talking. You've seen me at events where my wife will come and say, speak. I will have a long page of things to say. 2 lines, I'm done. I'm out of that thing, right?
Yes.
But I think it's the learning experience, talking to business owners, working on the challenges they face, and giving back to the community.
Yes.
I think you were a part of the concept where there was a person in Oshawa had a cancer. We all raised some money, put up signs in front of their home.
Yes.
It didn't bring us any financial value, but it touched our hearts. And when other businesses see that, oh wow, these bunch of business guys came out to give something to the someone who's passing away, it made a huge difference, and it could karma to leave behind. Right?
Absolutely, and it encourages other people
to do that.
You mentioned the community, and I think you may not say this often enough, or you may not even know it, but you do give back a lot to the community. Tell us about, and you plan a lot of events.
Yes.
There's a lot of events monthly, if not weekly, throughout the whole year.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the events that are coming up.
We have 3 major events coming up. One is our multicultural festival, second year this time, expecting about 3,000 people to be there. That is in support of the Ajax Pickering Hospital Foundation. And then we have our economic summit / business expo happening on September 16th. And then finally, we are hosting a gala where we want businesses to be nominated and give them awards. That's on December 4th in Scarborough.
Wow.
Those are the major events, but we host about 75 events yearly.
Wow.
Right?
I didn't realize that. 75 events, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So you're always on the go.
And it helps a lot of businesses. Our thing is to make sure that if you're going to meet someone, we go to a member location. We will go to a restaurant that owned by a member.
Right.
So we are supporting that, and then take pictures, put it on social media. That helps a lot, right?
Perfect. So can you give us an example or story that you can share with us? You don't have to name names because we don't want to put people on the spot. But tell us about a time where, a person or business had fallen, and how did you come in and help that person, and what happened to them? How did they transform?
I don't think this person will mind, but I won't mention the name. But this, when the renewals come, we send out an automatic invoice saying that here's your membership renewal. And one person came back and said, he or she is not going to renew it. And I said, okay, that's fine. Then through another friend of hers and mine, I found out that she was going through some hardship. And that is the reason. It's not that she had anything against Connecting GTA, just the things were not going well. So what I told this common friend is that, can you tell that person that you are going to pay me for the membership? This way we are not letting this person go, because if someone leaves because they don't like Connecting GTA, they're not getting the benefits, that's okay. But if someone is leaving because of a hardship, I don't want to let that happen. So I told this person, she said, okay, I'm going to tell that person and stay as a member. It happened. But this person couldn't hold it. So she went and told that friend, Suresh wanted to do this for you. I never paid him anything, but he's giving you a freebie. He has to come out of that. So when someone is falling down, we want to give them a hand and lift them up. And I think she's doing really well now.
Good.
But she did, come and cry to me, saying that she found out that, I did that for her. And I said, again, our belief is that when someone is down, give them a hand, pull them up, and then whatever they want to do afterwards, it's up to them, right? But that you are leaving a story behind.
Yeah. One thing that always impresses me about you, Suresh, is no matter how busy you are, and you are very busy, 24/7, if I can say that you're that busy, you always have time. You always make the time for someone else, whether it's a business who's struggling, whether it's someone who needs help with something or they can't do something, or just I call you and say, Suresh, I need help. Yeah. You are there. Like you always take my call. You never, ever say no, and you never turn your back on anybody. So if this is going to inspire anyone who's watching this podcast today, and if they're thinking about, where they want their business to go and they want to be part of a club that's supportive, then I bless it 100-fold in terms of what the club. Always supportive.
Bottom yard. Yeah. So thank you.
No, it's an amazing place to be for sure. What's next? What's next for you? What's next for Connecting GTA? Where are you going with this?
So we are in the process of we want to make sure that we host events that are big enough for all the businesses from the Greater Toronto area to come together. I forgot to mention, we are hosting an event at Queen's Park in partnership with Deloitte. I think that's going to put us in a really good position. We want to talk about cybersecurity. And so we want to start doing those type of events where, business owners will really get it. We can always host these smaller events where we meet for a coffee and thing, but I think the membership level that is changing, more big corporations are coming on board and they are looking for different path, right? So we want to support them and all that. Obviously, any small businesses who've been around with us for a long time will always be there to support them. Right?
Perfect. You also have a couple of nonprofit organizations that you run through. Connecting GTA. Tell us a little bit about that and how can they be supported?
So we encourage nonprofit organizations to join Connecting GTA as a member. We tell them to pay the $300 to come on board. I personally guarantee that I will donate that money back to them in some way or shape, so that way they're not spending that money, but I don't like to give something for free. I want to make sure that they pay, so they take their membership seriously. Then what we do is we work with them together to host fundraisers or support them at an event. One of the organizers hosting an event at Boston Pizza, we are going to drive our membership there, support them, help them out and all that. When they host a golf events, push our members to go and buy the foursomes and support them, right? So this way we are giving back to the community, but we get to say that we are supporting a proud member of Connecting GTA to support them back. Otherwise, everyone will want to ask us for favors and we want to limit that. So if they are members, then we get to support them, right?
Right. So, obviously, when you look back at your career, even in your younger days, compared to where you are right now, is this something that you always had in the back of your mind, or is this something that you just happened to stumble upon when you saw a need for it?
I think this is something that I always had in me. I guess at that time I was young. I didn't want to take a risk. But eventually when I left the hospital, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can sit around a table and work. I want to do this. And it was doing well. When I started talking to business owners, they were getting the benefits. You remember Keith, we introduced him to quite a number of people to build custom homes, so they saw the benefit and it was making us happy. Right? So,
and you also provide jobs to a lot of people. As the members grow and their businesses grow, they need people. And, there's hiring that happens. And what more can you ask for?
And it's a trust factor. Again, when someone is looking for someone, if you know so and you can trust them, then it's easier for them, right?
For sure. What is one of the things that you're really, really most proud of with Connecting GTA? That's a tough question, I know.
It is. I think it's the fact that, hosting Gala is one of the biggest one that we always host. I think not the last one, previous one, we hosted it. And we had a snowstorm. I remember you came to that event too. I think 90% of the people showed up in the storm, including the Pickering mayor. So that made me very happy. I was nervous that what if only 20% of the people show up, but a lot of people showed up. And that is simply because, support, like they respect me and support me, and they came out to support. Like, so that shows that, the members who are there trust me and they respect me a lot to take that risk and come over.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, there's something magical there that exists in the club, but it's also a give and take, right?
100%.
In order to get, and this is something that I've learned too, is to get something, you got to give something. You have to show up and you have to, in order for people to trust you and do business with you, you got to
build that trust.
You got to build the trust and give as well.
Yeah. And don't expect anything in right away. Like some people, those are the people that we don't want in our club, is that they say that, okay, I paid you the fee now. When is the business coming? It doesn't work that way, right? You got to come, you build that relationship. Like, so if you remember Nandan, who owns a travel agency, joined the club, but joined at the COVID time, did not get a single business over in 2 years, but always paid his membership fee. But then we took a cruise tour. 40 of us went on a cruise, made him happy, and now he's getting a lot of business, but he believed in that system, and it has to be like that, right? So,
No, for sure. There's a lot coming down the pipeline as well for connecting GTA, and I'm glad that the club is growing and that you guys are giving back to the community. I know that your wife Krisha is, although she's not a member per se, she's behind you to support you.
And I couldn't have done this without her and Jaden. Like this is. They support me, and I always choose my major events during the holiday time so she can come and support. So she's always at the golf event, at the gala and all that. No matter what, she's always there. So I mean, again, it's always family supporting. Otherwise, you can't do this, right? It's not
Now, is there anyone that you're looking to add or supplement to the club? Like right now, you've got, restaurants and lawyers and roofers and home builders and whatever the case may be. What's missing that you want to add? So if anyone watching the show and they want to think of, hey, I should belong to this club.
I think we do need the trade workers for big time because we are working on, I'm talking to another member who now wants to build about 35 to 40 hotels in the GTA.
Oh, wow.
And they came to us and asking, can you help us to identify some lands and all that? So I connected them with some of the realtors who have land. But at the same time, when these type of projects come along, these are the opportunities. I have the power to tell these guys, hire our members. So that way we are supporting each other. So it could be a, manufacturing company who make doors. It could be an electrical company who can do all the wiring and all that. As long as they can manage these type of big projects, these are the type of projects that available.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, And again, these people who are approaching you are coming to you because they see the benefit and they trust you because of you're visible in the community, you're doing so much in the community, and then they want to be part of this excitement as well.
And also, I host number of events in a way that I invite the members to my home, like the selected members, like the VIP members, and I tell them that the reason you are here, I include some special guest in there, but I tell them that you are here because I want to continue to build that trust with you. So you have met my wife and son, therefore you trust me, you know that I will never screw you. Same thing with these members who are spending a lot of money with me. I want them to come and meet my family, they know where I live, therefore that trust factor is going up the ladder. And I mean, they could have gone to anyone to build 35, 40 hotels, they didn't have to come to me, but because they earned that trust, they're like, you know what, let's work together on it. Right? So,
no, that's amazing. I think you have a lot going on in that little mind of yours.
That's why it's
a lot of people you've helped a lot of people succeed, and that's a good thing. I want to touch a little bit upon the multicultural festival because it's new. You had the first one last year, and this year is going to be the second one that you're doing. So taking on something like of that magnitude is huge.
Of course.
There's so much at play from, the grounds where you're having it, the vendors, the music, the food, licenses, like how do you juggle all of that? And let's talk more about the festival and who's coming and what's happening.
So festival, we will have about 15 to 20 performers from various cultures. And we already have about 7 of them confirmed. That's going to be exciting. And then we will have about 110 booths, including the community partners. These are non-profit organizations, hospital, the town of Ajax, town of Ajax Fire, they will be there, plus the businesses who are coming to display their business opportunities, right? And then we will have a lot of food items, like, again, multicultural food items will be there so people can come and buy and enjoy it with their family. That's that. But juggling with everything, last year when I hosted it, I had the former president of Connecting GTA, Leslie Enright, Jim Lawrence, Irishmar. These are some of the members who kind of stood behind me and supported me. They even stayed back until 10 p.m. to clean up the garbages.
Oh, wow.
But it is, it's a teamwork. But I wanted to do that because I wanted to make sure that, we can promote the businesses and promote the club name in the community. And we are hoping that we can do this in number of towns, so that way the name goes around, right?
Okay,
so
wow.
And we won't do it, attach a charity behind it, so that way we are giving back, right?
So it's not just in Ajax, you're going to have it in other places.
Other places,
well.
yeah.
Wow.
So, and we want to make sure that it shows that yes, we are business owners out there, but how do we promote our name in a good way?
Right.
So
yeah, no, that's amazing. And I'm glad it's so successful because it's a very big and scary thing to take on.
Yeah.
You could lose a lot.
Of course.
But I'm glad it kind of worked to your advantage. And I think the community bonds together over something like that as well.
Yeah, and I think the first time when we hosted it, I'm sure there were a lot of mistakes made and all that. But, I think we only had few complaints. When I talked to most of the business owners, they were like, they said, we were happy with it, right? So, and it was a hard day, but many people accepted the fact. I mean, again, I always go back. We all make mistakes, but how do we fix that down the road, right? So.
A lot of people, they talk mainly about their successes, about how, this is what I'm doing right now. And this is, we're very successful and we've grown our business and now we have 10,000 clients. Not a lot of people talk about their failures. Now I don't want to dive too deep into how much you failed, but failure is a very important part of growth. And without failure, you will not grow and you will not learn. So if you were to share with us something that, something that you consider that you failed at and you didn't think it was going to work, how did that change? What did that do for you?
Good question. I think my failure is that I sometimes get excited and I jump the gun and make some commitments. And then I learn the hard way that, as one man show, it's impossible to do that, right? So that's something now I'm working on to make sure that I don't overpromise and then underdeliver. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to come and promise you something, again, you came to me and proposals, like how do we work together? I came back right away and saying that, give me some time. Let me put some ideas together. Let me talk to some people and come back to you. This way, I could have easily pleased you saying that, let's do it.
Exactly.
Then I'm going to upset you saying that, okay, Suresh made a promise. Now nothing is happening, right? So I think that's something that I'm working on. Continue working on and make sure that I don't,
I think that's one of the biggest lessons that any business owner will learn, myself included, where the excitement takes over and you believe people and you think, okay, they're going to do it. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't happen and it leaves you in an awkward situation.
And you are doing that in a good intention. You are not doing that because you want to cheat someone or mislead someone or anything, but you have a good intention, but sometimes you don't realize the amount of work involved in that, right? So that's
for sure.
Yeah.
And we keep learning and we keep growing.
Of course.
And that's speaks to where you are right now with the club, and it's a positive sign. Earlier on, I had interviewed Brent Edwards. I don't know if you're familiar with Brent Edwards. He's been around. If he's watching this right now, he may not appreciate it. But he started his own journey for his own business. He's had a very long history with corporate jobs, working at the Ontario Chamber of Commerce as well.
Okay.
And he's now started a business called Brent Canada Experiences, where he's helping newcomers who are coming into Canada to start up their own businesses.
Okay.
Remind me to make that connection.
I should do that, yeah.
Because it's all about connecting. And one thing that he talked about a lot is, when a newcomer comes into Canada, they're really not sure of where to start. Where do I go? They have an amazing idea. Maybe the country that they're coming from, they were doing so well. They were like killing it. Then they come to Canada and then now they're starting from the bottom. And they don't know where the resources are, what tools do they need. There's rules, there's regulations, there's laws, and it's very intimidating and overwhelming. And it might even change their mind and say, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. And that could be detrimental because it could go really well. So having said that, and I mean, you've seen a lot of businesses come and go, businesses that have failed, businesses that have, have bought multiple businesses. Now, what advice would you give to somebody based on where you sit today and with the club and what you're planning for the future? And if say there is a small business wanting to start up, what would you say to them?
I think connecting with someone like Brent or connecting GTA is a great idea, just to come up with a plan. What are some of the challenges, and talking to people who are in business, so that way they're not doing something on their own, and learning from them, asking, okay, what, should I get an office now, or is it too early? Who do I, whom should I reach out at the bank? What are some of the things? Where do I promote my product or services, so that way? And talking to, if they are manufacturing companies, talking to other companies out there. Is there a big competition out there? Because if there is a big company out there doing the same thing, you got to fight them to, win, right? So how do you do that? So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot to consider and a lot to juggle. And that's where your expertise comes into play. And you have the resources within the club to say, if you don't know the answer, you find somebody else who knows the answer. And that's always a good thing to have in your back pocket.
Talking to people, because there could be a company doing or looking for their services. When you don't meet someone, you wouldn't know that. They could be buying something from outside, right? So how do you make sure that you tap into that connection?
Right. So. Now, is there someone that you have come across that you have said, no, don't do it? Has it, or is, you know what I'm saying? Is people come to you with their idea. They're so excited. They're so happy. And they want to do it. They just want to do it. And you listen to them and you're thinking to yourself, I don't think this is a good idea.
2 weeks ago, I had the exact same meeting in my office. Someone he said, I have the money. I want to start a restaurant business. And I asked him, do you see how many restaurants are struggling right now, right? So why would you want to do that? I told him that if you want, why don't you go work as a manager at a restaurant, watch what's going on, and then make that decision, right? Don't do something that right now is going down the path, right?
Right. No, that's really good advice. That's and not a lot of people will give that advice. A lot of people will just say, you know what, come on board, pay me your fee, and take your chances. But
and we've seen people who failed because of that. They had to lose a lot of money, right? So it's very sad to see that, and sometimes ideas are there, but how does that? I think you and I worked on an idea before where it didn't go anywhere, and this person spent a lot of money on trying to build that up. But I saw him struggle to bring it up. He had so much passionate about it, but there's a lot of blocks that prevent from, because if you're a small business, you have to go through so much thing to get to the next level, right?
Exactly. What are some of the main challenges that you see with people who want to start a business? What do they not know?
They don't have the business plan. So they don't have an idea. This is me sitting here and saying that I want to start a restaurant because Doreen always asks me, where can I buy Tamil food? Yes, there are hundreds of Tamil restaurants out there. Why my restaurant? You may come once and that's it. You may not come. So you got to make sure that you study, do some research to understand, why, if I start something like that, is there a clientele there, right? And what is my 5-year plan? What if something goes wrong? How am I going to, do I have the financial backup to stay positive throughout this time until I'm back up and running, right? If something doesn't go well, what is plan B to continue? Because you would have rented a place, right? You would have bought a lot of supplies. You have staff there who depending on you to get salary, right? So how do you plan that ahead, right? So these are the things that are important.
So now, do you sit with people and actually do a business plan with them?
Yes. Wow. I ask all the questions, all the dumb questions to make them think a bit out of their comfort zone to make sure that they are ready. And sometimes they're like, you know what, maybe I will take some time, think about it and come back. And some of them take that risk and move forward, and then you see them struggling. Right. So.
I've met your family. I've had the privilege of meeting, your wife and your son, Jaden. And Jaden, I've seen from a young boy who is now a man, entering into, is he already in university?
Second year university.
What do you want for him? say he came to you one day and says, Dad, I want to be like you. I want to start a club. Or are you going to, like, what is your hope for him that he should do?
So we watched him grow and understood what he's passionate about. So he loves cars. Okay. He did want to become a lawyer. And I told him, seeing a lot of lawyers running around, trying to become busy and all that. I told him that. I said, he loves coaching and teaching. He teaches basketball, and when he did the taekwondo, he taught a lot of kids to get his hours and all that. And I told him, like, this is something you are very passionate about. Kids seem to love you. My wife, being an educator, she also encouraged him, try that out and see. Like, at the end of the day, we want to give him all the opportunities out there. Then he picks it, because at the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning, you got to love what you do. Otherwise, you're going to be stressed out, right? Yeah. So I think we gave him those options. Now he's trying to debate. So he's a car guy. He wants to make sure that when he comes home, he can work on the car. So if he's a lawyer, I think he's going to have a hard time working on the car, right? So so I told him, like, you can go into education. So that way, when the school is done, sometimes you're home, you can do something you are very passionate about, right? So
no, that's true. It's hard to kind of guide your child. You want them to be their own person as well, and make their own decisions so that they learn. And it's almost like being a club member in some respects, that you can only counsel someone and give them the advice, but the ultimate decision rests on their shoulders.
Exactly. And we put him to work at our events. He comes and supports us a lot. So he meets a lot of people. He talks to a lot of people. So he can see that, what is it, do I want to be a business person, or do I want to go into something that I don't have to worry about, right? So at the end of the day, club is there if he wants to take over from me, right? But otherwise, he can do whatever he's passionate about.
That's it brings up a good point that I just thought about too. And I know you and I have talked about this before, but I kind of forgot about it for a while. For people out there who have children who are unsure about the path that they want to go, or they have questions about a certain business, I know you've always been encouraging to say, you know what, come volunteer with us, go shadow a business for the day, see what they do and how they do it. That doesn't happen out there.
It doesn't happen a lot. And we encourage kids to do that. Like, we put them in places so that way, if someone wants to become a lawyer, we put them with. So Jaden did go and volunteer at a law firm for, I think, 2-3 months, just to get that understanding, if it's for me or not, right? Then they get to decide that. And also, you are learning a lot of new things, because if you are not exposed to those experiences, you can't come over to the university and look for a job, right? You got to have that, work experience. Right? So that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful place for the youth to start. It gives them some kind of grounding and realistic, experience as to, they may have thought it's this, but it's not, and then they can make that decision without,
and also you're making some connections, right? Like, let's say you worked for the IBM, and someone who volunteered with you at another event or something always wanted to work at IBM. Now that you met this person, you learned about her or him, and you see that this is an amazing kid. Obviously, when that time comes, they can reach out to you and say, I'm done now. Can you do a recommendation? And who makes a huge difference, right? And you may recommend that person to get that job, and that becomes much easier rather than them going through those loops, right? So
yeah, for sure. It's definitely a good resource to have that way. You come across so many different businesses, all types of people, all types of businesses. We know that right now, based on the economy and what's happening out there, restaurant owners are kind of struggling. Price of food has gone up, so they're trying to match, keeping their prices at a certain level so that they don't lose, So restaurant owners are having a difficult time. What are some areas that are thriving? Like, if people were to think about an opportunity, what would you recommend that they get into?
I think manufacturing is doing really well. Like, I know with the Trump's drama, they were struggling a bit, but these are some of the things that you can never go down, right? So they are good. But as you said, restaurants are really struggling now. So we should go out and support them as much as possible.
Yeah, no, that's great. And hopefully today is Valentine's Day, that we're recording this podcast today. A lot of people will be filling up the restaurants, which is great. I remember visiting many many restaurants, member restaurants at Connecting GTA.
Yep.
Food was always great. The service was always great.
And these are guys who are passionate about what they do. Like they didn't just open the restaurant. Right. That's another thing. Going back to your answer, like, is that something you're passionate about, or you're doing that because you want to make money, right? If you're not passionate, then you can't, go anywhere, right?
Right. So let's step away from Connecting GTA for a minute. You know, you live, breathe, dance around Connecting GTA. That's your passion.
Yeah.
Tell us about you. What's your other passions? Like, what other things in your life that you love?
Me and my wife go for a walk at the beach on a daily basis. So she's now waiting for me to come home and go for a walk. So some people think we are crazy walking in the snow, but that's something we enjoy doing that. And we love watching a number of shows together, and at times Jaden join us. So it's a family time with our dog. Spending a lot of time at home rather than being out there. So we would rather stay home, order in, and then enjoy some family time than rushing into a restaurant, not getting that, family time, right? So it's all about family time.
That's beautiful. I mean, I know for a fact that family is very, very important to you too. You are all over the place 24/7. You are on the road a lot. You are in appointments from morning, afternoon, and evening, weekends. It's very demanding. You make it look very easy, I have to tell you. But how do you take care of yourself? Like, what do you do to make sure that you're not crashing and burning?
I think that goes to Krisha. She makes sure that, again, I work out, I eat healthy and all that. But I do, like, at the end of the day, I tell that to our members too. Like, we are here to make money. How do you make sure that you have a work-life balance, right? So you got to make sure that, you eat healthy, get enough sleep. So back in the days, I would take all the meetings as much as possible. Now I don't take too many meetings unless it's really worthwhile for me, right? Or I try to stay home and work on certain times so that way I'm not on the road all the time. So it kind of helps.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you do it sometimes, honestly, because you are with over 300 members and everybody trying to
they need
talk to you. They need your attention. Their livelihoods are at stake with their business. I really don't know. You're still managing this by yourself. It takes a lot of guts and strength.
We take their money as membership, so we do have to support them. At the same time, we don't want anyone failing, right? We want to support as much as possible, and that goes far. Like when you help someone. They will never forget you, right? And that will, you're supporting someone who's in struggle.
Right. No, that's amazing. I'm so glad we had this time to just catch up and talk more about the club and promote the club, as well as, the hard work that you're doing in the community with, your festivals, as well as your nonprofit organizations. There's just so much that goes into this organization. It's not just, come be a member and that's it. So, that's one thing. If I had to say good about it, that would be it. You get a lot. But again, you got to give to get out.
Of course.
Any messages that you would like to give to people who are watching this podcast today? Anything that you would like to share?
I would, come to some of our events that are happening. Some of them are free, some of them are paid events, but come to some of the events so you get to talk to some of the members about Connecting GTA and decide whether this is for you or not. That's one thing I always tell everyone. So this way, I'm not pushing you to become a member. You come there, meet others, and if this is for you, become a member and let us know how we can support you. But on top of that, I do want to thank you and Jega for putting me on the stage and helping me out with this. This is very exciting.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
And looking forward to bringing a lot of members to be part of this.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about the future with this club.
Yeah.
I'm excited for people to realize their dreams and their potential.
There we go.
It's not just about being a business owner. It's about finding your passion in life and having the people around you who are going to support you and carry you even through the tough times. And that is important. And I don't think there's many organizations that do that. So I do appreciate you coming out today. I know you're so busy. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know Krisha's waiting to go on her walk. So, Suresh,
thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks.